Hello Wanderers and welcome back to our Elder Kings 2 roleplay series following Clan Direnni. And as you can see, Ferordomas the Manmer is here outside the walls of Camlorn, laying siege to it, where King Marbet, the evil King Marbet, hides behind his walls and cowers in fear. But as you can see, we are about to win this war. Indeed, the siege is almost done here, and just a few more days left. The enemy army may attempt to stop us, but I doubt they'll have any real chance to do so. And look at that, we seized black iron, a famed weapon. A powerful blade of skyfallen iron that forged a mighty dynasty. Its first owner was the Iron Sun, a mighty ruler of ancient Camlorn. Huh. Interesting. So he left his sword. It was lost in the battle, but we did win that war. Very, very interesting. Now, I'm wondering, do we give that sword to our claimant here, to Osring? I mean, that would kind of give him a little bit more legitimacy, gift him the artifact. It's a good artifact. Prowess plus 10, prestige plus 5, monthly renown plus 5. I mean, we could keep this weapon for ourselves. It's extremely good. We'll become the owner of black iron. Well, here's the thing. I mean, we are pushing Osring's claims on this throne, and although the player in me says that we should keep this sword for ourselves because it's an amazing weapon, I mean, I think it ultimately makes the most roleplay sense to give it to Osring. Now, I would like to get an alliance with Osring. I don't know what kind of circumstances we'll need to put into place to do so, but like I said, we're gonna gift him the sword. That was painful. That was really painful, but I think it was necessary for the story because, you know, we've conquered these lands and this is the land we're going to get for him, but he'll have to fulfill the rest of his claim on the kingdom. So let us enforce our demands. There we go. And I'm going to go and do the little bit of jiggery pokery, like I said, to get Osring to be independent, and then we shall come right back. So as you can see here, Osring did not gain the Principality of Camlorn like was intended by us successfully winning the war and pushing that Casus Belli on the Principality. I'm not sure why that happens. Was it a bug? Something that I wasn't aware of mechanically? I'm not too sure. So I'm just going to go in. I'm going to adjust things a little bit. Now, I normally try to avoid this at all costs, but I think we can all agree that this is more of a buggy type thing than an actual legitimate situation. So I'm gonna go in to the debug menu, fix this up a little bit, and I'm sure you'll agree that the changes that I'll make here are perfectly reasonable and make a little bit more sense for what was intended to happen, and probably mechanically make more sense as well, despite whatever this bug was that caused it. So here, as you can see, we have given the Principality over to the new Jarl Osring of Camlir. And that's probably the Nord pronunciation. That's the only thing we did. We just gave him the Principality. That was the claim that we were pushing. Obviously, as you saw, it did not successfully transfer over. So that leaves Prince Marbet of the Glenumbra Moors still in an independent position here. And he can try to push his claims as well. But to that end, what was intended to happen has happened, and Osring gained the Principality title that we were looking to give him. So he is now there on that throne, and we don't have an alliance with him. Now, it would be nice to potentially get one with him somehow. Could we perhaps arrange a marriage or a betrothal? I mean, we do have this daughter we could arrange a betrothal between our daughter and his son Bronvar. That might be... I mean, he's not really a great man. Actually, he's ambitious, brave, diligent. He's not a terrible man. He's a bit of a drunkard. He's got rock joint. I mean, legendary blade master, misguided warrior. Would we do this just to get that? It doesn't seem like we would even have the opportunity. He would not accept. So although we don't necessarily have an alliance with him, we do have a friend on the border at the very least. He may not come to our aid in war, but we do have a friend here on the border. He likes us quite a bit. He's a reasonably good man, and now he will no doubt rule much more justly than King Marbet would. So where do we go from here? Well, obviously Gavadon is still an option, but we are pretty low on our prestige. We could conquer the county once we get enough prestige. That's probably what we're going to do rather than taking the kingdom. I do want to remain under the rule of Kinlord for now. I don't want to become independent. As you can see, Wayrest was expanding and took their opportunity to move on Gavadon as well. And to that end, they have conquered the lordship of Gavadon itself. So we're going to have to take this little bit of land if we can. He only has 6 men, 2 levies, and 4 knights. That's all he has that can still call him king. So we got to build up this prestige. Maybe this time we'll do a feast. 50 coins. I mean, we'll lose the strats too, which is nice. The guests gather in the great hall, lords and ladies from near and far. The mood is bright and spirits are high. It makes sense to hold a feast after our victory in Camlorn, and so we shall do so and enjoy it very well. As the feast is underway and our guests are eating and drinking merrily, Pirtar approaches Allison and me at the great table. This is a marvelous feast. All my compliments to the host. Yes, your parents. We are your parents. I've done a great job, haven't I? Allison deserves all the credit, although we need the prestige. What does this give us? I feel like I'm making a lot of decisions here for roleplay's sake that are not the most mechanically beneficial, but I don't think that we would take the credit away from our wife. Speaking of our sons, though, I would like to get some betrothals for... Ooh, look at this. Princess Valu Linway of the Kingdom of Cloudrest. Interesting. She's a good character. And she's actually descended from the House of Oriel. So she's from a very prestigious line. That would be a very good marriage, and look at that, just enough acceptance. I think we're going to arrange that marriage. Bring somebody who's descended from the House of Oriel into our line. That would be pretty good. We also have Ambarin. He's getting a little bit older. What about you? Marriage. Perhaps with your cousin. She's got some claims here to the earldom of Coegria and Holton. I am not opposed to that either. It's a distant cousin. Fine with that. Let's arrange that as well. During this feast. The tale of Sirabane. I hear the curate whisper something to the bard, then a familiar tune starts. It is a song praising Sirabane, the Aldmeri archmage who ended the Thracian plague. Some of the most devout of the guests start singing along and weeping. Some start issuing small prayers, and some are just plainly bored to it. Sirabane, oh Sirabane. I mean, we do worship Sirabane ourselves, so we gain a nice bonus to our piety. And the betrothal acceptances are coming in, as you can see here. And Baron comes of age. Oh, he's a tough soldier. Not terrible. And an apprentice magician, so he has some magical knowledge, some fighting knowledge as well. So, not too bad. And he gains the military engineer. Excellent. Not bad at all. As the next song started, we could hear some giggling from the most sassy of Balfieri and some stern and proud looks from the most conservative Balfieri. As the voice started singing these lines, I realized the reason. It was a hell of a mess, but I digress. My story is about the swine. What took root in this land were seeds called man that sprung up like fungus from the grime. There's visible commotion among the guests over lamenting the rise of mankind. And ooh, very interesting. A little bit of tension between the Altmer and the humans, the Bretons of this land. This is highly improper. Very catchy tune. It's a lesson we best heed. Sing the song of man. This is highly improper. It's going to give us a critical stress break, but we are trying to make inroads between our people. So it was a very close one too, as you can see, just over. With everyone heading to their respective homes, I'm proud to say the feast was a success. I have my wife Allison to thank. We gain the prestige, we gain eager reveler. Okay, I'm fine with that. And we gain some bonuses there. Betrothed can marry. Accept that. There we go. So we won't need to wait long before we have enough prestige. He still only has 6 troops. That's kind of ridiculous. Indeed, so we won't have long to wait. We'll let some time pass and we will come back when something happens or when we're able to press that claim. As you can see here, our son is able to get married to his betrothed, Quenias Len Antrena Direnni. Pretty good marriage here. It's gonna give him a pretty good chance of getting some decent traits. As you can see, very dashing young man here. Powerful mage too. Probably one of the most upcoming Direnni mages around, honestly. So that will be quite a good little marriage, and they will probably have some very magically inclined children. We are, as you can see, pretty close to the amount of prestige we need to do that war. We could get an alliance with our aunt. Actually, not opposed to that. Not opposed to that at all. We are probably not going to take these lands from our aunt directly. I think we're going to act against Wayrest in a much larger manner, but we still have plenty of things to do to deal with that in the future. I'm sure Sevion's relationship with his spouse Natanwe is very happy and productive, and are we sure? I'm pretty sure she sang a love song to us in the last episode, but lately he has had less and less time to spend with me, a dear friend, as their relationship deepens. Maybe she listened to our words and actually has been putting in the effort to deal with her marriage with Sevion here, who unfortunately suffered a disfiguring wound in that battle. Maybe that has brought them closer together. One can only hope. Every time I try to talk and get him out for even simple walks, he is apparently tied down with marital duties. I miss the good old days when we would go out gallivanting around the place, drinking the finest wine until we threw up, and then doing it all over again the next night. What times we had, if only that wretched beguiling Natanwe wasn't keeping us from having that again. Perhaps I can make them see the error. No, I think we just have to be happy for our friend, really. Do we not? So let's let this go up just a little bit more, and then time to deal with Gavadon once and for all. All right, so as you can see, we have enough prestige, and it is time. We're going to deal with Gavadon, and we're going to put a stop to Wayrest's extreme levels of expansion here. This is getting a little out of hand. We won't need to call in any allies. Obviously, I don't think that we're going to need really much at all. We could probably, honestly, just go in there with, our friends here, Sevion and Snagbash, get Jonas in there, get Craggy Endall in there. Probably the 5 of us could walk in there and deal with Gavadon, honestly, with their 6 soldiers. But I mean, we're not gonna take any chances here. Maybe he's got a secret army hiding somewhere. I doubt it, but we are going to go in and deal him right now. As you can see, Jonas is leading the army. I don't think we saw any reason to go in ourselves. We do have the enemy commander, Baheshadar the Hyena, an impressive specimen of Khajiit skill. Unfortunately, we don't know what's going to happen to him after. He is a vindictive blackguard and therefore of no use to us, but it looks like I don't think that this fight is going to go against us, honestly. I'm surprised they lasted for 3 days somehow. And their army was completely obliterated. Good job, Jonas. The 2 levies were killed, and Alante was slain in battle by Snagbash. So just there, they stood no chance. That is just the simple fact of it. We're gonna let this siege tick down, and really this war was more of a formality than anything. The last defenders hiding here in the castle, and they will be rooted out, and Gavadon will be dealt with. Looks like the Duchess has actually joined against us as an enemy. And why is that? Because Gavadon got in an alliance by getting a betrothal to her daughter? Huh. Well, Coegria, alright, maybe you are giving us a little bit of trouble. Maybe we'll have to change our ideas there. She must have known that we were going to war here. I mean, it's not going to change anything. Their army's not going to get here in time, I don't believe. 10 days left, indeed, no. I'm proud to see my son no longer as a child, but as an adult. He's an astute intellectual. Unfortunately, not a particularly skilled mage. But, you know, we can arrange a marriage for you as well. Perhaps to a good Balfieri woman. Indeed. Oh, Elira Sigelti. Okay, Sevion. We can arrange a marriage between your daughter and our 3rd son. Bring you into the line. I'm not opposed to that. So Sevion can get rewarded in that way. By being brought into the line. There we go. The war is over. We shall enforce our demands. And it is done. Now these lands belong to us. We don't have the domain limit to hold them, unfortunately. Is there any way to deal with that? That's not going to help us really too much. We can't really bring that up at all. So what's our best option then? Well, our best option is probably just to give one of these titles to our son. He'll still be under the... No, we can't give him any of these ones. The primary title... and these are titles that he does not stand to inherit because of his brothers. Okay. So he's not going to be a vassal of ours. He is going to go under the main kin lord. He'll be giving it to, but we're basically putting him in charge of the islands here, Sibiades Atoll, and he is essentially going to rule that in our stead. We trust him to do so. So now he is a Castellan as well. And this is good because that's going to give him a chance to practice his magical lifestyle, gain some spells, and he'll probably just live out his time here on this island in Kosh Hall, just practicing magic, honestly. We have other things to deal with. We have Wayrest. As you can see here, Daggerfall, dishonorable villain, is ruling there now. Obviously, Prince Marbet is still potentially a threat, though a much smaller one. There are enemies all around, and even here in Evermore, Resentful Craven, King Hamelin, not a very good man either. There are enemies all around, and Balfiera needs to do something about that, but we will be doing something about that in the next episode. Until then, thank you for watching.